and her live-in boyfriend Joseph Soule, S-O-U-L-E, who is 34 years old. She goes by Jackie, he goes by Joey. They were living with a landlord at 203 Post Avenue here in the city of Battle Creek. It sounds like they had a ongoing dispute with their landlord in the basement. They did not get along very well. It was kind of a common thing. Once we, as the Detective Bureau, started looking into the case itself, there were some things that weren't quite adding up. We were following leads, looking into certain things, and today we received a tip from a source who indicated that the landlord, who is a Chad Reed, a 53-year-old male, he actually confessed to this individual that he had murdered Jackie and Joey and that he had hid their bodies. So shortly after this information came to the police, Chad actually came to the station and turned himself in and ultimately ended up confessing to detectives and indicated that he had indeed murdered Jackie and Joey and admitted to moving the bodies. His statement that he gave police was that there was an altercation that took place. All three individuals were present at the home at 203 Post Avenue. Chad indicated that there was originally a verbal altercation between him and Joey. He's claiming that Joey pulled a knife on him, and in self-defense he drew a gun and shot and killed Joey. After seeing that, Jackie tried running from the residence, at which time he ended up shooting her as well. He also did say that he followed her into the backyard and proceeded to beat and strangle her until she ended up passing away in the backyard. He did also tell us that he ended up wrapping them in plastic and put them in the back of his pickup truck. It sounds like they were actually left there at 203 Post Avenue for maybe a few days. As family members, friends started coming over and checking on them or looking for them, he decided that he needed to move the bodies, and he ended up moving his truck, still had the bodies in it, over to another house in the Post Addition where he found an abandoned garage, parked the truck with the bodies inside of it, and enclosed it off. So at this point, he is in custody. He's going to be lodged at the Calhoun County Jail for 2 charges of open murder. It's still being investigated. The Battle Creek Crime Lab is still processing both scenes, being 203 Post Avenue, and actually the vehicle with the bodies is also being processed currently as we speak. I think that's a pretty good overview. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know.
The landlord that has confessed to this, had he had a history of altercations or any sort of issues with this couple, with his tenants?
It sounds like nothing official as far as police records would go, but from everybody that we talked to, friends, family, it sounds like they had just an ongoing dispute where they could not get along. They had arguments about money, they had arguments about you name it. So it was relatively common for him to be complaining to people that he spoke to that he was annoyed by them, didn't get along with them. They liked to party, keep him up late at night, so he would tell other people that he was had another bad night's sleep because he couldn't sleep because of all the noise that was going on. So from an official police point of view, I would say no, but from just a bad environment that they had, it was a relatively well-known thing.
When did he turn himself in? Was that this morning, this
afternoon?
That
was this afternoon, probably right around noon.
Who was the individual that he had confessed to? Was it a friend that he had said that he'd done this?
I don't want to give that detail yet.
Okay. What about the house where the bodies were found in the truck? Is that owned by any? Or is it just a vacant abandoned house?
It's an abandoned property. Probably just something that maybe he had drove by and saw, thought that was a good spot to park the truck in without anybody knowing.
Did he say? Did it seem like he turned himself in because he knew that this friend had told police that he had confessed?
I don't know that for sure. If I had to guess, after telling this person, I think it was guilt, maybe a little bit of remorse. I would like to think that maybe he knew that eventually it would catch up with him. So I don't know if he knows that this person that he confided in actually came to the police. I don't know that. But it was relatively close in time to when the source came and told us this information, and then when he came and turned himself in.
When did the altercation actually happen, and when did he finally move the bodies?
So the altercation was the evening of Wednesday the 7th. I don't know exactly what time, and I actually don't know exactly what time he moved the bodies. He said that they were there at Post Avenue address for a couple of days prior to him moving the truck with the bodies, so I don't know that for sure. Anything else? All right.
Yeah, what time did he confess?
What's that?
What time did he confess?
That was this afternoon. He turned himself in around noon here at the police station, and detectives started interviewing him, so shortly after that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Has the family been notified?
Yes, family's been notified. And again, some of this is still being worked on at this point, so, you know, some of you have probably been in touch with the family already. I would maybe give them a little bit of time, let them reach out to you if they want to give an additional statement, because they were literally just notified 2 hours ago.
Have the bodies been fully identified, or is that still ongoing?
I would say that, yes, they've been identified. All right, thanks, guys. Put my mask on.